Hello, today we will be working in the Against the Clock Dreamweaver textbook for 2019. I will be using Adobe Dreamweaver 2018 in this video. I will be going back and forth from 2019 to 2018 of Dreamweaver, and they're pretty close, pretty much the same user interface, but just wanted to let you know that in this video I'll be using 2018. Let's begin with going to the Against the Clock website just to make sure that you have downloaded your graphic files. You should set up your username and password, enter your student resource file code found in the back cover, inside back cover of your textbook. Once you've done that, then click on My Account and Files. Sometimes it's a little slow to load, but once you get there, you should be able to download the graphic files that you'll need to complete the exercises in the textbook. So the textbook is required, so make sure that you do purchase the textbook because you also purchase the code which allows you to download the files to complete the exercises. The videos such as this one that accompany the tutorial exercises from the textbook are really optional, so you could use the textbook alone, but you can also follow along with the video if that helps you. Once you click on My Student Resource Files, select the 2019 Dreamweaver files, and there's a zipped version and unzipped. You just click on that file name and it will download it to your downloads folder. And once you do that, then you want to select the bistro file for this exercise. That's Project 1 Bistro Site Organization. Double click to expand it, and then all the files you need for this chapter will be found inside that folder. So what I want to go ahead and do is start to organize the files on my desktop, or you can do it if you're using a storage device, or you can set up a work in progress WIP folder for your desktop, and then if you're not working on your personal computer, you just want to move that folder into your personal storage folder or device when completed. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my WIP folder and move the bistro folder inside that folder. So I have on my desktop WIP folder, and then my bistro folder is within that folder. Go ahead and get Dreamweaver going, and make sure that your Files panel is open. Go to Window Files if you don't see it to select it, and here we can begin in the textbook. I want to go to Manage Sites in the Files panel, and you probably won't have any sites currently on your dialog box. I just have some other sites that I have worked on previously. I want to click on New Site, and I'm going to give it a new site name. So I'm creating a completely new site, and I want to call this site name FB Bistro. Then click on your local site folder. So this is your local root folder. If you click on the Browse for Folder icon, I'm going to go to my desktop, the WIP folder, and then look for the Bistro folder and select that as my local root folder. Select Choose and Save. And now you created a new root folder. I'm going to click Done, and that will show up in your Files panel. Make sure that you click on that arrow next to your root folder to expand it so you can see all the files inside that folder. So let's take a look at what we have here. The HTML pages are our web pages. You always have one index.html page, that's your home page. Then you have some image files, and then a CSS style sheet, which you don't need to worry about right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a website that's already been created in Dreamweaver, and we're just going to look at the navigation and create some links there. So rather than to start off with creating a new site, which we're going to do next week or in our next assignment, this week we're just going to look at an already designed and developed site and look at the directory and how it's organized. Go ahead and select index.html and double click on it to open the file. I'm in design view and in split view so I can see my code on the left. If you switch to live view, you can see a more accurate representation of what the site will look like on the browser. I'm going going to close index.html and open about.html and take a look at that web page. So you can see as far as the design, we have the same navigation menu and the same footer design. The rest of the page, the content changes, but your footer and navigation menu stay the same. I'm going to close this page and open the menu 1 HTML page, and I'll see the theme with the same basic design layout and close that page. Now I want to organize my files in the Files panel, and you want to do this in Dreamweaver using the Files panel rather than doing it directly in your folder on your desktop or storage device. Scroll to the top, click on the root folder and do a control right click on a Mac and then select New Folder, and we're going to name this folder Resources. If you click this refresh button down below the Files panel, it will automatically alphabetically categorize and organize your directory. I'm going to do the same thing in your root folder. Now we're going to create another folder and call it Images. So we want to place all of our images inside that folder. Create another folder named Menus, and we're going to place our menu files in that folder. Go ahead and refresh. Now up at the top where it says Local Files, if you do a control right click, you can select Type, and it will show you what type of files these are. So it shows you if it's a JPEG file or an HTML file. Notice that all your naming here is using lowercase with no spaces. You can use dashes or underscores, but no spaces and no capital letters. Go ahead and select your JPEG image. I'm going to select the burger JPEG and just drag and move it into the Images folder. I'm going to go ahead and update it because it's been moved in this directory. Any linked images or hyperlinks will need to be updated. So I'm going to go ahead and click Update. Under Type, if I click on that, it's now going to organize everything by type. So all of my image files are going to be grouped together. All the HTML files are grouped together. And that allows me to select all my image files, holding down the Shift key so I can select all of them at once and then drag them into the Images folder and update. Now I want to move my menu HTML pages into the Menus folder. So look for your 2 menu HTML pages and then drag them into the Menus folder and update. Now I've got an image file here that's not a web-ready file. This Illustrator AI file is just going to go in my Resources folder because I may want to go back. I just want to keep that stored in my project folder so that I can go back and modify that logo if I wanted to later, but it's not a file I'm going to upload to my website. So I'm going to keep that in the Resources folder. Since I don't need to access that, I can go ahead and collapse that folder, and that completes stage 1.